Hi guys! Episode 10 was everything so romantic. Oh my god, it was so sweet. I think I got a cavity. Oh, it was everything. Let's discuss. Hello, good people. Thanks for joining me again. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Anne, and on my channel, I review foreign shows. You know what I should say, right? We travel around the world sitting on our couches. How fun is that? You never know which country we're gonna end up next. Hi guys, thanks for joining me again. If you're new to my channel, welcome. On my channel, I review foreign international content. Today I'm back because you know what I say, right? If it's Sunday, it must be hometown cha-cha-cha, right? And you know how we love this show. Anyway, today I'm back to review episode 9 and 10. For anybody who doesn't know what hometown cha-cha-cha is, it's a South Korean series that is currently airing on Netflix. So if you haven't watched all the other episodes, start from the beginning so you can catch up and then join us next week for episode 11 and 12. But episode 9 and 10, and 10, like I said, was so good. Oh my God, it was everything. Oh, I loved it. Anyway, let's go to episode 9. I think we left off with the dad, Hyejiin's dad, coming to town. He actually accidentally bumps into Do-shik when he was having a hard time putting gas in his car because the station thing was digital and he was having a hard time figuring out. So Do-shik helps him. But then the way he was like, I'm sorry, I know, not everything is digital, is no longer analog, almost implying like he's like her dad is old and he didn't like that. So let's just say it did not start off very well. And then obviously they go and meet Hyejiin, and then Hyejiin brings them home, and accidentally Do-shik was there because he had come in to fix the shower. And then the father is like, hey, what are you doing here? And then for them to explain why he's there, Do-shik panics and goes, oh, I'm her boyfriend. Almost like that makes it easier than him explaining why a guy is in a girl's house by himself. Like, it just didn't look good. I thought that was interesting. And then obviously there's that text message that goes to the whole village like, hey, pretend that Do-shik and Hyejiin are dating. Her dad is in town. We just need to play. And then if you do, Hyejiin was like, I'll give you like, 30% off any dental work she does. That was so funny. And obviously the villagers were overplaying it. So it came off really awkward. Like, what is wrong with everybody, right? You can tell Hyejiin's dad was like, what's going on? What is going on, right? That was so funny. Anyway, Do-shik gives them a tour around the village, which was kind of nice. I just thought it was interesting how the way Do-shik and the father were interacting, where he's very straightforward and then he would forget to be respectful and then he'd be like, and sir. So you could tell Hyejiin's father did not like him off the bat, but I loved how, it kind of evolved as they played the game. You could tell Do-shik definitely grew on him. And I thought it was interesting when he said it's almost like a flaw to have no parents, like being an orphan. Like, no, I don't, because he's an orphan, I don't think it's a good idea that you're dating him, right? And I was like, it's not like he wished on himself to be an orphan, right? Anyway, I just thought as it progressed, obviously, I loved when they were sitting, by the seaside there, when he's like, look, I didn't mean to offend you. It's just that she grew up when her mom died. I was an alcoholic and I felt like nobody was there for her. So I've always wished for her to be in a big family. And then I thought it was interesting that Do-shik was like, well, I'm not sure if I'm even good for her. Because at that point, he comes clean the fact that, look, we're not dating. We were just trying to put up face because we didn't want to explain that whole situation. And then I liked what Hygiene's dad said like, oh, I think you can be good enough. It's almost like, in my book, you may be okay. But so it was kind of, I would really love their back and forth. That was really fun to watch. And then obviously, we had in episode 10 where there is the intruder who comes and attacks Hygiene. But what happened was Seo Hyun, I think she calls him Sonbae, because you know Korean names are hard, had called him and said, hey, we need to talk when I'm back in town. But then he changes his mind and says, oh, I'm gonna go do it now. Almost like I don't want to miss out my chance anymore. So he's heading to her house, and then Doshik was gonna go see her as well. So luckily, Doshik gets there in time when the intruder was in the house, and obviously they get into fighting and Doshik gets hurt. That was a little sad there. And then they end up in the hospital, and I thought Sonbae or Seo Hyuk, the way he was so scared and concerned for Hygiene, it was like, wow, you really, really care for her. Even Doshik was like, you really, really care for her. You are really like scared and startled that she could have been hurt. So I thought that was interesting. And then obviously they definitely get to sit down. Seong Hyun and Hygiene get to sit down, and he finally says, look, I've been liking you for many years, and finally I have to tell you, you know. And obviously she doesn't answer. But I like how they did the flashback and how he was always there for her. So you could tell, like, obviously he's someone special in her heart. But now it's like she has to decide, does she like him or does she? And then obviously I love that they go on that road trip with her best friend. It's like girls trip. Those are always so much fun, right? Oh, and by the way, I love her yellow dress. That's why I pulled out my yellow flowers. I was like, that is the most beautiful yellow dress that Hygiene was wearing. Oh, that was so cool. But I love that when they were there, having fun, is when she was like, okay. And I love the montage that they showed of her constantly thinking about Doshik, where it's like, okay, I am in love with him. I'm in love with him, and I'm gonna go tell him. And obviously, that's when she goes and tells Doshik. And wasn't it interesting that before that, Doshik's grandma was like, be honest with me, you like the girl. I mean, you're willing to get hurt for her. You know, be honest with yourself. And please, people always think life is long, but sometimes it's not. So if you like her, tell her. So by the time Hygiene is showing up, Doshik was like, yep, me too. And episode 10 was so romantic. I loved it. And I remember the part where Grandpa, they showed us the back where Grandpa made a wish when he gave Doshik the shoes. And he said, I wish that if he's ever lonely, you send someone to him. And then when Doshik, by the way, went to Hygiene's house, he saw the picture of Hygiene when she was younger, and then he put two and two together. That was the girl that Grandpa took that picture when we were younger, almost like it was meant to be. Oh, so romantic. Oh, and I loved when they did the anniversary of Grandpa, and I love how the whole village brings the food, and Hygiene got to stay with him. And the part where he actually shares to Hygiene and says, I always thought it was my fault that Grandpa died, because when I got the shoes, I played soccer all the time. And when I came home and he had a heart attack, I felt like if I had been here and not playing soccer, maybe I could have caught him before he died. And I love what Hygiene said, like, that is such a huge responsibility to put you on yourself, and really not fair, because the ifs, coulda, woulda, shoulda, if I had done this, maybe they would still be here. But that's not how life works, right? We all know that, like, there's many other factors. I mean, he could have been there and not gone to play soccer, and Grandpa could have still died. So to put that, heavy weight on your shoulders, is not fair and realistic, and you could tell hygiene, was touched. Now, I'm gonna say, we know, because we've been shown flashbacks, and I know when Dushik saw the therapist, he said, I feel like everybody who is around me dies, almost like his bad luck. And I'm hoping now that they're together, he's not gonna pull back and say, my parents died when I was younger. My grandpa died. And then we saw that flashback where he's in a funeral, and it seems like maybe he had somebody else who was his loved one who passed away as well. I'm really hoping he doesn't pull back and fights for the relationship, but we'll wait to see in the next coming episodes. And it does seem that Sombe finds out that these two, or she's in love with someone, and obviously he's like drinking away his misery. But I am so happy that they're together. And then obviously we also were given an update on Hwajag and Choi and Yangguk, where she still like, I'll never tell you why I asked for a divorce, and I'll never tell you why you can never date Choi. And he's just stuck there frustrated, right? And then now Hwajang is being friendly to Choi. She invites her for lunch, and Yangguk comes to drop off their son and is like, really, you guys are gonna be friends? And then remember, Yangguk also confessed his feelings for Choi, and then Choi was like, nope, I have never had any feelings for you. So somebody commented and said, Hwajag and Choi, that maybe Choi has feelings for Hwajag, and that's why she left. And I was like, so maybe that's what the issue is. Let me know if you think the same down below. That would make sense, because she told Yangguk, I have never had feelings for you, which was very interesting, but is very fond of Hwajag, right? And then obviously that would explain why she's like, I'll never tell you why I want a divorce. So I thought that was interesting. So it'll be interesting to see how that progresses. And then the other one that was so sweet is the cop, the policeman, and her best friend, Mission, who she confessed to him, like, I like you. And then the cop, who's so stoic, is like, I feel like you're rushing things. And so she felt so embarrassed and ran away. But then I love that when she had to go to see her mom, who was in the hospital having surgery, he offered to give her a ride and then stayed with her. And then obviously when they got back, he's like, I need to talk to you. And then she was like, don't worry about it. I know you're right. I'm rushing things, and don't worry, I'll put a lid on my feelings. You don't have to worry about me making you feel uncomfortable. And I felt like the cop maybe was ready to say, you know what? I think I like you, because I felt like they spent that time at the hospital together, that he finally is like, I'm ready now, right? But then she just shut it down, and I was like, no, give him a chance. But anyway, what a fantastic episodes, 9 and 10. I love Sarange. So good. I'm looking forward to episode 11 and 12, and I hope you can join me next week, because like I said, if it's Sunday, it's hometown cha-cha-cha. Thank you so much for joining me. Do give me a like if you like the video, subscribe. It does help support my channel. And I'll see you again next week when I'm reviewing Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha. Deuces!